All right, Mr. Brad. This is our B2 here.
So, Riding Shotgun Adventures, Brad and Mackenzie here.
Oh.
This is our B2 we picked up last March, right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
Drove down to Kentucky, picked it up, trailered it home. It had a 4-inch lift on it when we got it. Didn't quite run right, 2.9. I wound up putting a computer in it and resealed the valve covers in the intake, and engine's running good now.
It had a skyjacker on it.
It had a rough country 4-inch lift on it, which is good if you don't really want to do anything serious off-road, because the drop bracket is real close to the pig in the front. So we took that off and we put a 5.5-inch stage 3 duff lift on it. We opted for their MS 2020 shocks, and all was good. We put 33, actually 295 7017 Dixie Pick Extreme Country tires on it, and we put Beltec drop shackles in the back to kind of level it out, and everything was good. We drove it that way for a while with the TDB, then got rid of the 7.5-inch axle, put an Explorer 8.8 from a 96, which has disc, and put a 456 and a Grizzly Yukon locker in it. Put an Aussie locker in the D35 in the front with matching gears. We drove it that way for a while. Then, then I expressed interest in possibly doing a solid axle swap to Dan Bastian. And since he was partying out Sarge, I wound up buying both his axles. And then I sold my rear axle to John Parks, put it in Gilbert. So now it's got 488 gears, Grizzly lockers front and rear, and a Dana 44 with a straight axle swap. And we've got a James Duff rear bumper with the spare tire carrier. I got to change out the stud pattern to match the 5x5.5 that's on it now. Method 704, 17x8.5 rims. Bead grip technology, the BFG KM3s. Sliders are from Trail Gear. Had to be shortened a little bit. Might still have to shorten them a little bit more. What else do we got?
Well, we did our front bumper.
The front bumper I actually found, I searched for a Explorer winch bumper on eBay. Found a company called RLC, and I think they're out of Tennessee. And I wound up calling them and saying, hey, will this fit a B2? And he's like, yeah, it should. So I ordered it, and it came obviously without the Smitty built 9,000 pound winch and without these bars and lights. This bar is a kit from, I think it's dirtbound.com, because it just didn't look quite right without that on there. And eventually I will probably go with a high steering linkage setup and hydro assist. That's down the road. The next project is sitting in the garage.
Let's check that out.
I've got the C4 and the Dana 20 twin stick that was in Sarge out of Dan's truck, and I'm rebuilding that. And then obviously you see an engine sitting on a stand. I'm working on putting together a 347 stroker. It's gonna have I'm I'm gambling and I'm putting Speedmaster aluminum heads on it. They're 190cc, 202 valve, 62cc. It's going to have a Howard cam, 517 lift. I don't remember what the duration is. It's not much more. It's about the same as a Trick Flow Stage 1. Alright, so off-roading, you need lights, right? So the front, earlier you saw I had pod lights in the corner that kind of go out on an angle, and then I got the little, I think it's an 18-inch LED bar right above the winch, and they're cheapies from Amazon, but I figured I'd use those until I see what I really wanted. But I'm like, okay, I need switches. So friend of ours, Eric, 3D printed a switch panel, and then I put switches in. And the switches I actually got from a different panel off Amazon that already was pre-wired, had the switches on it. But this one replaces the ashtray and it looks kind of factory, so that's what I went with. And then I think you saw the tilt gauge there that actually has a GPS speedo in it too. And believe it or not, with the factory 2.9 AL4D trans, 488 gears, and 37-inch tires, the speedo is pretty accurate. It must balance out perfectly to what the stock little, I think, 205 75/15 tires and 373 gears that originally came with. I guess I could talk about I had to put a fuel pump and a gas tank and a filler neck, because we found out at Holly RV Park when we first went out there that there was crap in the tank and it was plugging up the sock, and it would idle fine. Under load, had no power. It just choked out. And I wasn't very happy that day. Thanks for watching.